How you doing, fight fans? EJ Boxing Live here, and we have Joe Habeeb. Joe Habeeb's going to give his reaction on the Canelo, Triple G, the whole damn thing, and we're just going to chop it up. Joe, so, I just listened to your video, and, the narrative now, that Khan and this and that. Give people your take, and, this overall take of the event. Khan and Canelo, bro.
Well, I thought the fight was very competitive. I thought Khan was winning the fight up until the point of the stoppage. And the narrative is going to be, bigger man beats smaller man. Yeah, guy with weak chin gets knocked out like we expected once he gets hit with a big shot. But let's talk about how we got there. I mean, I had Khan winning this fight 3-2. Arguably, it could have been 4-1. Teddy Atlas, Freddie Roach had Khan winning every round up until the point of the stoppage. So Khan was winning this fight, in my opinion. But Canelo made adjustments. So this fight, I thought Canelo won basically with intelligence. I don't think this was more so him just being the bigger man. I think that by saying that, you're really diminishing Canelo as a fighter. Canelo made some smart adjustments. He knew he couldn't match Khan speed, punch for punch. Couldn't match the hand speed upstairs, so he had to slow Khan down. So he made the attempts to go to the body. And I thought Khan was handling all the shots pretty well. So I can't say the body shots per se were slowing Khan down. Maybe Khan was just getting tired because he had to throw a lot of punches just to keep Canelo off him. But, I thought Canelo made the adjustments, and he threw a beautiful feint in that 6th round. He dropped down, bent down a little bit with his knees, and he made it so, or made me believe and made Khan believe that he was going to throw that right hand to the body. So I was faked out, watching this fight from home. I thought that punch was going to the body too. And Khan made the mistake of falling for that feint, and he was going to block that shot. But, after he dropped his left hand, then he kind of went upstairs like he was going to try to beat him with the left hook over the body shot or the anticipated body shot. And Canelo faked him out of his socks. He fought this fight very intelligently. He made adjustments.
Yeah.
He made adjustments in this fight, and he's not going to get credit for making adjustments. What's going to be said is, okay, he beat a blown-up welterweight. He knocked out a guy with no chin. Everyone expected that. And you know what? Everyone who expected that, the end result proved them right. But I didn't anticipate how he got there was going to happen. Like, the way he got there, I didn't see it. I thought that, if he was going to knock him out, it was going to be Khan really just getting worn down later in the rounds, or later in the later rounds and later in the fight, and that was the way he was going to get knocked out. I didn't think he was going to get faked out of his socks like that. I don't think he was going to get sucked into a trap like that.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming.
I see that because I got different scorecard. I gave Khan the 1st round and I gave him the 5th round. And in the 1st round, because he landed that big right hand, and in the 5th round, I feel like he got a couple of hooks in, but he could have went either way. But the thing is, Canelo, to me, because I was thinking he would use the Lara blueprint, the Mayweather. He used, like you said, the feints, and I think he learned a lot from the Mayweather fight in his learning progression, even though he lost that fight. But I think he learned a lot, and with the feints and stuff like that, Mayweather used a lot of feints on him to get his shots off, and Canelo couldn't read. But that's what he did to Khan. He faked that left to the body, jab to the body like he was going to do a jab, and he shot the right over, and Khan didn't see it coming. And the thing is, Khan, everyone will give Khan the credit, but the thing is, Khan, he couldn't get the Mayweather fight, so he more or less put himself in that position. But listen, let me tell you something, I picked Khan like you picked Khan, but the thing is, this sort of thing can devastate your career, and this is why boxers have weight classes. This is why we have weight classes. One guy coming in is going to be stronger than the other guy, and that's what happened. That stuff was quite dangerous, but I give Khan a lot of credit in that, but I don't think his career is going to be the first of the Brook fight. Brook's going to be demanding much more. Like, I don't care what Khan, that's going to be harder.
And do whatever it takes to make a big fight. This guy's a superstar. And I think a lot of fans are still behind him. And this is going to be like the Mayweather-Pacquiao scenario all over again. And this is going to get dragged out. I don't think the WBC is going to strip Alvarez. And you made some great points. Alvarez versus Lemieux. I don't think anyone would complain about that fight. Alvarez versus Curtis Stevens. I don't think people would complain as much as they complained about this fight, because there's danger in those fights, because both guys are hellacious punchers. So you could sell that to Alvarez putting it on the line against a big puncher. Can Alvarez stand up to the big shot? Will he be slick enough or defensively responsible enough to not get hit or tagged by Curtis Stevens? And Curtis Stevens just had a great knockout. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility to see Canelo in the ring with a Lemieux or a Stevens next. I anticipate that's going to happen. I have a feeling that we're going to see Canelo versus David Lemieux before we see Canelo versus Triple G.
I tell you
but
what,
I don't think WBC is going to strip them. I don't think WBC is going to strip them.
If that happens, Canelo will be relieved of the belts, man. If he goes against Lemieux, he'll be.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
David Lemieux, David Lemieux can bang, man. Nah, I don't like his chances in that one. I don't like it against Stevenson either. The Stevenson is a solid. Stevenson doesn't mind. He's just one of them road warriors that people in there. I tell you, I don't like Canelo against either one of them two there, bro. I don't like it at all. But because the thing is, Canelo's opponents he's been facing, like they're not the same as Triple G, man. Triple G just handled them guys, but these guys can really punch, man. As you saw with Lemieux and Tappy, they can really do you in, man. They got real hard power, real threat, and McCann ain't bringing that power. I mean, who's the most dangerous guy that Canelo's been in with was the hardest punch? Who's the hardest puncher Canelo's ever been in with? Kirkland, right? Kirkland.
You could say Miguel Cotto too, though, right?
No, not really. Not at 154. He wasn't. Who did he knock out? Who did Miguel Cotto knock out at 154? I know he got the Martinez, but other than that, who did he knock out?
Well, he knocked out Daniel Gill.
Okay. You got a good point. But
Gill is a durable guy.
Yeah.
In the same fashion Triple G did it in. I mean,
you got a good point there. That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I mean, Cotto is definitely a solid puncher. He's got over a 75. He's got like around a 75% KO ratio. So he's a solid puncher. David Lemieux, you can argue, is probably a harder puncher at 160 than Cotto is, but I'm getting sick of picking against Canelo. I really am. Every time I pick against this guy, he
comes through.
He just really proves me wrong. And this is the thing. I'm gonna say something extremely, extremely, extremely controversial, and I can feel the ether being thrust upon me as I speak before I even utter these words. But let me ask you this. This is what a lot of people are thinking about. Now, look at the scorecards in this fight.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Look at the scorecards in this fight.
Yeah.
Canelo was winning 4-1 on one of them and 3-2 on the other two, I believe. So none of those judges had Khan winning this fight up until the point of the stoppage.
Nah, yeah.
So if Canelo Alvarez does fight Triple G and he finishes the fight on his feet, what are those scorecards going to look like?
Hey, bro.
That's what you have to ask yourself. What are those scorecards going to look like?
Well, this is the thing. We already knew that already. That's something everyone even knew. Even if Khan would win, he ain't going to win the score. He wouldn't win on the scorecards, man. There's no way you could win. You have to knock that's what I'm saying. You have to knock that dude out, man. You can't let that go to the scorecards. Even Mayweather got a draw. The scorecards, they got him right here. At the stoppage, they got 149, 146. 148, 147, 148, 147. So at the time of the stoppage. So both of them, that's the scorecards. You ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win. There's no way.
So that's what I'm trying to say. If Canelo finishes the fight on his feet with anybody, I hate to put it out there and be the conspiracy theorist, but he still does enough though to make an argument sometimes, because a lot of times he's landing shots like he's touching his opponent. He's with the exception of Mayweather. I thought Lara beat him, but an argument can be made that Canelo won that fight too. If you want to look at the body shots or whatever, I thought a lot of the body shots were landing on the elbows. But if you're a judge and you're watching up close, you're going to think possibly that every one of those body shots is landing. So he has a style, and even what's his name, Harold Letterman last night. He was giving him rounds that I didn't give him. You know what I mean? So he has a style that a lot of judges like. And on a given night, if the right judges are scoring his fights, which seems to always be the case, then he's going to get the benefit of the doubt in any close round. It's just like an automatic. And again, I hate to take away from him or his victory last night, because he did did win that fight with a very intelligent veteran move. That was a great feint he threw. I mean, it was awesome. But at the end of the day, he's just getting the benefit of the doubt with these judges. Everyone is favoring him in close rounds.
Yeah.
So think about it. And all the, I thought Cotto lost the fight, but I had it 115, 113. Look at the scorecards in that fight. They were so wide. Like, I don't know. Did you think that fight was like a 10 rounds to 2 fight, like some of those judges were saying it was?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But
I mean, at worst, it was probably an 8-4 fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At best, a 7-5 fight. I thought he won the fight, but it was competitive. The Trout fight, look at the scorecards in that Trout fight.
The Trout fight was madness, man, because and it's the thing, in the Trout fight, they read them out. They didn't read them out half time. Remember, the WBC had a ruling, a mandatory ruling, but they didn't enforce this time that they read out the scorecards to the fans during the fight. When did they stop doing that bullshit? They stopped, I think, Archie, maybe when his dad took over.
I think they stopped doing it in the United States, but I still think they do it in international fights. I could be wrong there, but I've still seen them do it in some of these fights overseas and stuff like that. So I could be wrong though.
Okay.
But do I make a valid point here, EJ? If he fights Canelo and he finishes the fight on his feet, I mean, is he gonna get the decision?
Yeah,
the chances are this is what people have to look at. If Triple G doesn't knock him out, what are those scorecards going to look like at the end of the fight? That's a valid point.
That's a valid point, but you know what the answer is, man. He has to knock you. That's why they want to make the fight, because Triple G will not let him go to the scorecard. But if it does, Canelo will win. Just say it out. Canelo will win. De La Hoya had the problem when he was doing his thing that people could. You can't win a decision against De La Hoya. It was happening to him against in most of his fights, and with Canelo, it's happening as well. But the only thing with Canelo, he's knocking some guys out, boy. Or if he gets to the scorecards, he wins by wide. So it seems like it's a win-win for Canelo. He's got the same kind of thing with De La Hoya had, and this is the thing. The only guy to put him in that position is dangerous Triple G. He's gonna keep making voluntaries, man. He wasn't even hurt in this fight or anything. He wasn't caught or anything. He's ready to go. He's ready to go, and the Lemieux fight, it'd be more dangerous. The Curtis Stevenson fight, more credible. And people will argue, but they'll watch that fight. They'll build it up and put the hype behind it. So there's some challenges out there for him that people are gonna say, oh well, we want a Triple G fight, but we'll watch that. So you know what I mean. But in Triple G, in the other hand, who's he got to face? He's gonna get, if Triple G don't get this fight next year with Canelo, boy, it doesn't look good for Triple G. Listen, it doesn't look good, man. He's either got to move up, man, because there's no challenges in the middleweight division. Where's all the challenges for Triple G if he doesn't get this fight?
Well, let me ask you this. You're a boxing fan the same as I am, right?
Yeah.
How important is it for you right now to see Triple G clean out this middleweight division? Do you care about that as a boxing fan? And and anyone who's going to listen to this, I ask you guys, do any of you care if Triple G cleans out the middleweight division? How important is that to you?
Yeah.
To you.
To me. I don't really. I'm not too important with it. I'm not too bothered.
Everyone I've talked to at this point has said they don't care.
No, I don't really care.
So let's pull back the curtain and let's be open-minded about this. The narrative that the Triple G camp is putting out there is, we want to clean up this division. We want all the belts. But how many divisions did Mayweather and Pacquiao really clean out? Like they moved through weight classes at a rapid pace because they were looking for the big fights. Mm-hmm. So let's look at it. Let's put this into perspective. Is this really such a big feat, cleaning out the division, or is it better to search out big challenges? What's more important? That's. I mean, obviously, I'm going to say, as a fan, I want to see a fighter search out better challenges. I mean, the best versus the best.
That's what I mean. Exactly. Go ahead, Joe.
And not only that, HBO. Again, I hate playing the politic person because that's not who I am. I like breaking down the styles and being the analyst. But HBO is buying every single opponent. They're accepting every fight. Mm. So if they're going to continue to allow this to happen, first of all, the sanctioning bodies, if they have to step in and they have to say, well, a fighter cannot mandate another fighter to come in at a catch weight if it's for a title fight. That should be a rule. So if the WBC is really serious about helping and assisting in making this fight happen, then they gotta put those rules into place. And then if Canelo gets stripped, he gets stripped, whatever the case may be. But I bet you Canelo doesn't get stripped.
Nope.
And I'm going to bet you that this fight does not happen next. And I'm going to say it's going to be either Canelo versus Lemieux or Canelo versus Curtis Stevens. I think it's going to be Canelo versus Lemieux.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next fight,
yeah.
And it's going to be for the middleweight title, and it'll probably be at 155 pounds, and Lemieux will probably go down to 155.
But you see what they're doing with this, yeah? If that happens to Triple G, Abel Sanchez got no choice but then to say to Triple G, well, we can't get that belt. All right, we can stay here. Well, we're going to stay here fighting these guys. He has no choice but to say, can we move up? Move up to 168 and go against Arthur Abraham.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt you, I apologize. But
that's all right.
Can we call out Team Golovkin on some of their BS by trying to sell the narrative that, okay, we have to clean out this division, saying that is such an important thing to do when there's other bigger challenges at other weight classes for him? Should we accept that from the Triple G side? Or who's wrong and who's right here? Because I think there's plenty of blame to go around on both sides. What's your take?
Look. Yeah, I agree. But the thing is with Triple G, they haven't got no much power as Canelo and De La Hoya and the WBC has a history with Latino fighters. They haven't. Even though Abel Sanchez trying to say Triple G is a Latino fighter, he fights like a Latino. Yeah, well, that fine. But they don't pull no power, man. They don't have no power because if they did, they'd have that fight. So what Canelo did is like, man, De La Hoya keeps his ball red. They're trying to, if anything, to me, what I've seen with De La Hoya, they're saying, well, we have this fight, but I'll tell you what, we do this fight. We're going to make a lot of money. WC, well, okay then, we give you this fight. And then they're going to see if Triple G is going to move. Because Triple G was like, man, I can't keep getting up for these dudes here, man. What am I going to do? They're not going to give me my fight. It happened to Jose Lushigan. He had 2-3 years had to wait for a belt for Eric Morales, Daniel Garcia. He couldn't get that belt. And then he finally took a fight against Lucas Matisse. And then you saw what happened there. So I've seen this happen before. Triple G has no alternative. He could either stay, fight these guys and no one cares, or he moves up and challenges himself and maybe he loses. So he's putting himself at Canelo's just going to keep doing what he's doing, and De La Hoya is going to keep him, because if Canelo loses against Triple G, that's their golden boy, that's their golden goose. We talk about AJ's UK's golden goose. That's their golden goose. Why would we serve him up on a plate like that? We were talking about why would Amir Khan people? We were talking about Amir Khan's people. Why would his dad and them lot just give up Amir Khan like that? He's a money maker. Why would you serve him up to Canelo? Someone in his camp didn't care about him. That's what it comes down to. If you serve Canelo to Triple G, the same thing's gonna happen. What he did to Khan is gonna happen to him. That is a fact. Everyone knows it. We just want to see it, right? De La Hoya knows it's gonna see it. So what you do, you basically buy it blatantly, you stall time. You stall time and see what Triple G's gonna do. He's gonna stay around beating them guys and get all that criticism, or is he gonna move up and challenge himself? And then when the opportunity arises, then come back down. That's what he should do. I like Triple G against Arthur Abraham. I like him against Ramirez. I like them two fights there. They'll come to fight you, man. So actually,
What about the Gale? That's a great fight too.
They won't like. No. The girl. He knows the girl's too tricky for him. He wouldn't like that one. He wouldn't like that one. But the mirror, even what about him against Butte? You see what I'm saying? These are fights just like, you know what?
These are all good fights.
These are all good fights.
And you may even make him a favorite in those fights, but you have to ask yourself, those fights would still be more competitive than anyone at 160, no?
That's what I'm saying to you. So this is what I'm saying to Abel Sanchez. So it's like a pendulum. It swings back, because I tell you, the points we mentioned with Canelo, he's got guys to fight. He has guys to fight, and the WBC will be making their money off that, even because they didn't enforce their WBC many times. They didn't enforce their WBC match with Kovalev that Kovalev had to fight Adonis Stevenson. They just gave Kovalev the belt. They didn't enforce that. So how comes? Or it's like they're talking sideways out their mouth, double standard. So I don't expect, like you said, that fight to happen. But I think Canelo is the golden goose, and De La Hoya is not going to give him up. Why? If you care about your money-making fighter, I don't give a shit what the fans think. I'm gonna keep giving you guys, and that's why they were so happy that Amir stepped up, because oh, thank God, Amir, you saved us, man. You saved us from this criticism. You gave these guys a big fight on Cinco de Mayo. Because what other fight, if Amir Khan didn't do that, what other fight would have been big enough on Cinco de Mayo? They wouldn't have one, so they're happy. So they're not gonna get away, but they can get away with the Lemieux. Another Cinco de Mayo, that's another year. You get away with David Lemieux, that's another year. You can get away with these fights here. So Triple G's all swing to Triple G, and it's up to him. And you know, Triple G should be happy to go to 168 and challenge himself against them guys. You know, and Virgil, when I see Virgil saying, yeah, we stepped up, now you stepped up, I was like, Virgil, no one needs to listen to you, bruh. Like, no one needs to listen to you. Why would they listen? You obviously you got Andre Ward's interest at heart, so you want him to move up or do something, or you want, Canelo to fight up. But really and truly, you want Triple G to move up, maybe get a Ward fight. I mean, either way, yeah, these guys are gonna stop being prima donnas and get in the ring and fight each other. That's why I like the heavyweight division, because you don't have that really. These guys fight each other. You know, they fight each other. They're giving us what I want. So you know what I mean. But this is interesting. Amir Khan to me is finished. Amir Khan is finished. Like, that knockout was serious. He was really hurt. Head bounced off the canvas. He was really hurt in that fight. And it's like, bro, if I was Amir Khan, I'd retire. What do you think Amir Khan should do?
Well, he'll probably have one more big fight, but, you know, he seems to be the worst for wear now in some of these fights. In every fight, he's taken some punishment. So at the end of the day, you got to say to yourself, how much punishment can he take? As highly skilled as he is, there's always a point in the fight where it seems as though he gets in trouble. Even in Algieri's not a big puncher, but Algieri was even busting his face up. And you could say, yeah, he fought down to the level of his opposition, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, there seems to be a point in every fight where Khan gets lulled into an exchange, and he's not always coming out the best in those exchanges. So, you know, in this fight, it's the same thing. So I don't think he can beat Kell Brook.
No.
Who could he beat at welterweight right now? Who would you say he could beat?
No. I got everyone beating him. I got Porter beating him. I got him doing right in the early rounds. I got him catching up and putting it on him. Everyone knows the blueprint is over. Like, you get him, you make him throw his flurries, let him, and then you time him. So it is, you just time him, you know, and you break down his body. He's a fighter now. Everyone's got the blueprint and this that. That's why at this point now, when you made that big money, it's time to leave the sport. It's very dangerous at this point to continue this fight. That, you know what I mean? To see
if I was him, I would fight Kell Brook.
No.
And then I would call it a day after that.
No. You can't even fight Kell Brook now. It's too dangerous now, isn't it? Kell Brook would do that to him as well. It's not.
How much money would he get though to fight Kell Brook right now?
Is it money you're fighting for? Is it legacy? Is legacy secure? Like, in it? Why does he doesn't need Kell Brook at this point? It's for us. Well, for us, we need to see it. We want to see it. But for him, could look. All right, this is why I've been criticizing Kell Brook, and I'm probably the only guy in the UK who's been criticizing Kell Brook. Kell Brook hasn't apart from Porter. When is he challenging himself? When is he challenging himself as well? Like to put himself in a position where he's in a danger. The Canelo fight, if anything, actually, you know what? Maybe Kell Brook says, you know what? I'll fight that guy as well. What about that one? That'll be interesting. If he said, I'll fight Canelo next, that would be interesting. Kell Brook versus Canelo. See, Canelo, this is what I'm saying. Canelo's got more options than Triple G, but Khan hasn't got many options left for him to get. Mayweather's gone, Pacquiao's gone. The only one left was Cotto at the 3 in terms of the super fight. So that was his last super fight where he can't go nowhere. He's just gonna be an opponent, a name for other people to beat off, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see it now. Even Kell Brook can't get no value out of Amir Khan after that knockout.
Well, let's look at it though. Danny Garcia, he's still out there, and Khan is ranked #1 by the WBC at welterweight.
Come on, man.
So that fight is still possible too. They're both Heyman fighters. They're both Heyman fighters. So let's see what happens. Let's see if that fight comes off. Let's see if the WBC forces that fight to happen.
That's interesting, Joe. That's a good one. But everyone knows the same outcome going to be again, boy. I mean, he was winning that fight in Danny in the early round.
Well, let's really look at that fight though. Can we kind of just forget about the Mauricio Herrera performance? With Danny Garcia. Can we forget about how Zab Judah came back in his fight with Danny Garcia? Can we forget about even though Garcia beat Guerrero, that was competitive in spots. It was a tough fight. So, would you really expect the same exact outcome to happen if it was Khan versus Garcia?
I would, and I don't think Khan didn't want to fight Danny Garcia in the first place. He couldn't get the Peterson fight. I think he maybe in his last fight could fight Peterson. I think he could get out for that one. Maybe.
Well, this is what I think happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think he either fights Kell Brook next, or he fights Danny Garcia next. I think Kell Brook beats him, and I would favor Danny Garcia, possibly, but it would be interesting. It would be very interesting.
No, you called it right down the line. I think it's good. I think we answered the questions for what Amir Khan can do next, and Canelo can do next. But Triple G, boy, he's caught in a rut.
He's in between a rock and a hard place right now, Triple G.
Canelo's go right, man. He's gonna be all right. And for the fans complaining about why Triple G don't fight, you know what? The Triple G fighters, people don't want to fight him. There's challenges out for him, but is he willing to step up to 168? Canelo keep draining guys at 155. Eventually, someone's gonna catch him, and we're waiting. Is it gonna be Curtis Stevens? Is it gonna be David Lemieux? Time will tell. We have to find out, man. Joe Habeeb, man. Hey, thanks for your take. I'm sure you're gonna hang out today later on. You're gonna Wingies hang out later on, right?
No, I'm going to be on my podcast tonight. Ringside Reporter podcast on Blog Talk Radio. So if anyone wants to join us there, I'll be tweeting out the links, and the call-in number will be in the links too if people want to call in, and you can Skype in too if you want. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's the new podcast I've been on. Whenever Wingy does do the podcasts on Sunday, I do those as well when he's available. But we will be doing the Ringside Reporter podcast every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if people want to follow us there and call in there, and you can Skype in there too if you're a UK person or you're overseas person. You can definitely Skype in and talk to us there.
All right, man. Cool. Hey, where is that? Is that on YouTube? Is that on?
Well, it's on Blog Talk, but then I upload it to YouTube after.
Okay.
So
you guys need to
people can watch it on YouTube.
Are you trying to get on Google like Neza and try and get like a situation where it's live? Like that would be really good for the where it's live on YouTube, or talk to the guys trying to get
either way. I mean, sometimes when you do it like that, you can't have the callers when you do it on YouTube, and when you try to do both of them at the same time, there's a lot of times there's technical issues.
Yeah, you're right.
So so people can still call in and Skype in. I mean, basically the dialogue will be available if you want to call in or Skype in, and we can talk about the fights and give our takes either way.
Cool, so, man. I'll put the link of the description. I'll put that link in the description of this video. Joe Habeeb, man, thanks for giving me your time. EJ Boxing Live here with Joe Habeeb. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
EJ Boxing Live here. EJ Boxing Live here.
Buster Douglas knocked him out. Buster Douglas. The fat bump was the legends out here.
Yo, this is Chris Caban chilling with my man EJ Boxing Live, one of the hottest, dopest boxing channels on YouTube. Check him out. Some boxing beats and runs on the EJ Live YouTube channel.
And Bethia was the number 10 rated contender, and he had never been knocked down. And Sonny destroyed his mouth. Bethia lost most of his teeth, basically with one or two left hooks.
Oh shit, boy! What was look at kids sleeping like Manny Pacquiao?
EJ Boxing Live here. EJ Boxing Live here.